Hello, gorgeous. This is Gail. So I'm the founder of the Rockstar Mindset, and I'm with my partner in crime, Henriette Daniel.
Hello everyone.
And yes, we're going to discuss about something I think you're aware about it, or maybe you experience right now. So as you may know, me and Henriette, you are quite the queen of the visibility online. You're really, really good at it. And we want to give you some tips to overcome your fear of visibility and to feel so much good about it. So what we're going to bring today is your fear of visibility. And what we really want for you to learn is to be familiar with your fear. Instead of keeping it in a kind of Pandora box and not daring basically to look at it and being so scared about it, let's shift your mindset right now to do something different. Oh yeah, do you want to continue?
Yes, I mean the idea of this video in particular is not to dwell on the negatives and just talk about the fear. Everybody's got fears, okay? Everybody's got a specific fear when it comes to visibility as well, which is why we thought it was so important to kind of pinpoint this topic a little bit, because you're going to recognize it and you're going to go, yeah, that's how I feel. But that's where we're going to take you from that kind of fear of visibility, and we're going to swing it around in order to help you and push you up a little bit so you can really start showing up for your audience and just push yourself up there, and just build that confidence as well. So when we talk about fear, I mean, Gael's got some great examples to tell you when it comes to about fear and what's happening up in your mind, really. But it all starts with really stories that you're making up and you're telling yourself, and you end up believing yourself even because, maybe it's a story you told yourself and you go like, yeah, that's how I feel, so I believe that. Or even somebody else told you a story and say, oh my gosh, that's how I feel. Yes, I believe that. And at the end of the day, all you're making up is just stories that are stopping you from really showing up. So Gael, why don't you just tell us a little bit about what really happens in the mind when we talk about fear?
What is happening is a kind of emotional storm you have when you're thinking about your fear. It's so intense, it's so scary that your emotion are the messenger to tell you that something is really dangerous, that you don't have to go and you don't have to do anything about it. What basically I want to tell you, the key really to overcome any fear is to move your fear from this emotional storm to your intellectual side. Okay, because this intellectual side is the one you use to analyze, dissect, elaborate any kind of project. So instead of letting your emotion basically lead you, this time take back your control by moving your fear, your intellectual side, and see it as a project, like, okay, you have this fear of visibility, and write down what is going to happen if this fear is showing up. What can you do to prevent it? And especially, what is the cost if you don't overcome this fear? Because your fear has a lot of power if it's staying here.
Yes.
That's it. You just need to take action, to write it down. When you do that, you disempower your fear, and you do realize that you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are just on the paper.
Yeah. I wanted to add to that because so many people would say, okay, well, it's so easy for you to say, Gael, because, when you're so emotional and when you feel all of those emotions of fear, it's very hard to kind of think clearly. And you might have even been in a situation yourself where you go into a little frantic spin and something's happening and you just go, oh my gosh, I can't think clearly. Well, basically, that's exactly what's happening, is your emotional side of the brain is taking over. But for you, in order to take that step to move from the emotional to the analytical, and what Gael is giving you here is a great tip. It's just to sit and write it down, because that's where you literally start moving away from the emotional side to the analytical side by writing things down. And now that you see things, you're going to see things a lot clearer. And that's where you can start making the plans of how to move forward.
Yes. You know what is really a question to be brave by just taking one single action. And maybe you didn't do it before and you think about it, wow, really to do it, but why not? You have nothing to lose and everything to win. Just think about everything you can do if you overcome this fear. All the excitement, all the joy, all the accomplishment you can have and you can accomplish if you overcome this fear. And it's always, I'm going to tell you, fear it's always a false evidence appearing real. Why? Because everything is created in your mind. Everything. Your mind has so much power. But when you know the way your mind is working, it's time, to make your mind your partner, not your enemy. Do you have any other tip you want to share?
Yeah, actually, I do. I think sometimes when the emotions of fear, and particularly when we're talking about visibility, there's so many different little fears there as well. Apart from just fear of visibility, you've got fear of judgment, you've got fear of perfection, you've got fear of stumbling over your words and saying things wrong. And you know what? All of those things are going to happen. I mean, I've said so many different words here, which are completely incorrect. I stumble over my words every time I do a Facebook Live, but that's okay. That's who I am. I've made peace with that. But at the other side, whatever fear you have, it is so important to kind of just sit and think about what that fear is. Try and discover what is that fear that is really holding you back.
Yes.
Make a whole list of them, okay? And then when you look at those fears, if you would think for yourself that, listen, if this fear were not to exist at all, this fear does not exist, what can I accomplish? What can I achieve? And if you look at every single fear that you've written down like that, and you think, if any of these fears, if all of them do not exist, what can I accomplish? Oh my gosh, your mind is just going to open up and you're going to go, wow, possibilities are really endless. And all these tiny little words here on this piece of paper, that's what's stopping me. Oh my gosh, I've got to get real. And then you've just got to move on. Then you just got to take action and just move forward, because that's really what it is. All your fears that you've written down, it's just words on a piece of paper. And if you think about it in that sense and think, these words, as soon as I started erasing them or tear these piece of paper up and throw it in the bin, they just don't exist anymore. So now you can really go out there and accomplish anything. You can become more visible. You're going to attract your clients and your customers, and you're really going to make a big success for yourself.
And I really love what you said, because it's just like, imagine you have a blank canvas just in front of you and you can repaint your life exactly like you want to, like your story. You got this ability. And it's just a question to say, do I go for it or not? And I believe you have this belief, that you can do it. You overcome a lot of things. Let's be honest. Let's be clear about it. So it's not just one single fear which is going to stop you. I really believe in that.
Yeah. I mean, deep down in your gut, you just know it. You know that you're on a great path. You know that you're doing all the right things. You just got to go out there and play a little bit of a bigger game. Okay. So put all those fears aside. They are not worth it. Honestly, you've got so much more to deliver, and you've got so much more to give, not just for others, but for yourself as well. And you deserve to be visible. You deserve to be out there and to be seen.
Yes, because your clients, your audience is waiting for you. If you can overcome this fear, they know they can trust you, because if they have this fear as well, they're going to go to you. It's as simple as it is. So the work you are going to do for yourself is a reward that you're offering for your audience. And this is priceless. So I do believe if you have the passion basically to create a business and to help people, you're going to listen to us. You're going to watching us.
Yeah. Actually, do you mind if I tell a little story here? It's something that I told a couple of my audiences a few weeks ago. Do you mind if I share it here? It's to do with visibility as well. And I think this is really going to resonate with some of you here. It's an email that I sent to my audience, and I was talking about the big blue ball on the other side of my fence. Okay. Now, this is the story, and it really happened. For those of you living in London, obviously a couple of weeks ago, we had some blistery days where the wind was really going crazy. And the back of my house is literally in the corner. It's attached to a schoolyard. And then between me and my neighbor, there's this little alleyway, which is an emergency exit for the schoolyard. And thankfully, they didn't have to use it for some time. So it's completely overgrown with shrubs. And there's a big gate with a big lock, so you can't even access it from any other angle. Now, with this blistery days, there was this big blue ball that was being blown from the schoolyard for some reason. And it just came to my yard through that little alleyway. And my dog Cooper got so excited when he saw this big blue ball approaching him that he ran to the fence, tail wagging, and he was so focused on that ball up until the point the ball hit the fence and the ball just stayed there. Now, obviously, I tried, put my fingers through the fence and tried to get the ball over it, and no avail. Couldn't get the ball over. So the ball just stayed there, and unfortunately now it's deflating. So Cooper completely lost interest, and he walked off and found another toy to play with. But that big blue ball really represents you, okay? You get blown around by the wind in so many different directions. And when you're finally there in front of your audience and you need to play a bigger game, you end up staying behind the fence because you're too scared. And I've seen this so many times. Women stay, hiding behind their laptop, hiding because they don't want to be seen. They're too scared of going out there and showing their true colors and just going out there and play. And that big blue ball represents you on the other side of that fence. Now, your audience, in this particular case, Cooper, your audience is there. They're so eager. They need that information from you. They're there. They're ready. They're waiting. They want to play this big game with you, but you're not showing up. So I want to use that story and tell you that now's the time to jump over that fence. Enough playing too small. You need to show up. You need to be visible. You need to play a bigger game because your audience is there. They're waiting for you on the other side of that fence. And if you're staying where you are going to get deflated. There's going to be no passion there for you. Nobody's going to play with your services that you've got to offer. And your audience, well, they're just going to go and look for another toy to play with. They're going to run off and completely forget about you. So that story I just really wanted to share with you because I know it will resonate with you. So don't be the big blue ball on the other side of the fence, now deflating. We don't want you to get there. It's time to jump over and make a big difference, okay? You deserve it, and your audience deserves it as well.
Very powerful story. Yeah. I have nothing to add. I think I'm going to say everything, Don't want to be this balloon.
Think about that big blue ball and which side of the fence you want to be on.
Exactly. And you go for it.
Absolutely.
So, yes, I'm going to say to you, we're going to come back on Wednesday for another Facebook Live like this one. And you know what? I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to ask you to put in the comments below one of your fears. If you can do that already, to name it is the first step, okay? And we can help you with that with no problem. More than happy to help you to stop playing small and play big now. So I'm going to wish you all the best for this day. And I'm going to see you on Wednesday with my partner in crime, Royalty. I send you so much love.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye.